সালামুন আলাইকুম। BFDF এর আজকে ৪ নাম্বার পর্ব। আমরা এটা ইংরেজিতে করছি। এর আগে আমরা বলেছি কেন আমরা ইংরেজিতে করি। বেসিক্যালি বাংলাদেশের বাইরে, আমেরিকাতে, ইউরোপে এবং ইভেন এশিয়ার অন্যান্য জায়গায় যেখানে আ ইংরাজি ভাষীদের কাছে বা যারা ইংরেজি বুঝেন তাদের কাছে আমাদের এই বক্তব্য, আমাদের যে স্ট্রাগল এইটা পৌঁছে দেওয়ার জন্য। তো আজকে আমাদের অতিথি হচ্ছেন মুস্তাফিজ ভাই। উনার ব্যাপারে নতুন করে আর পরিচয় করিয়ে দেওয়ার কিছু নেই। বিশ্লেষক আম উনি বলবেন। আর যেহেতু এটা ইংরেজিতে আমরা করছি, উনার এই ইন্টারভিউটা নিবেন সাবরিয়া আপা। তো সময় নষ্ট না করে সাবরিয়া আপা, ওভার টু ইউ। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you. Welcome, Colonel Mustafiz Rahman. We're really honored to have you as a guest today. I'm going to start by asking you a little backdrop about um, the role of an armed service in Bangladesh. We know that an army is to protect the sovereignty of a country, the national interests of a country. Do you think that the same definition applies to the Bangladesh army at present compared to the armed struggle that the army was involved in for the liberation of the country? How have things changed?
Thank you, Sabira, and thank you, Rahat, for calling me today. If we compare with present Bangladesh Army and Bangladesh Army in 1971, or even during the East Pakistan time, we cannot compare it. Uh, as our neighbor India, actually, their diplomacy and espionage and their intelligence organization run in a such way from the very beginning, when they are separated from, when we are divided as a Pakistan and India. It's about, if you know the Chanakya, he was a military thinker during the reign of Chandragupta Maurya, and it's before Christ 312 to 300. He wrote a book called Hillo. They follow the same they follow the like India, China. China faced the art of war of Sanju, and for India it is a Kautilya, his an Arthashastra. And actually, with that book, they are slowly, step by step, at present, they are controlling our government. And I believe we all know it. And army is easy to control as it's a pyramid. It's not a diplomatic organization. It's an organization headed by a senior, and loyalty is very important for the army. So I want to say from the background how we came to this situation. In after the division of India and Pakistan, in that time we are East Pakistan. In 1962, they created an organization called. Let me check the name. Uh, it says just a minute. স্বাধীন বাংলা বিপ্লবী পরিষদ or Independent Bengal Revolutionary Council in Bhabanipur, Kolkata. So that time, two individuals was there. One name was Chittaranjan Sudar, one is Kalidar Boido. They continued their that independent Bengal. That means they try to show that in Khulna division, our earlier Khulna division, there are four district, bigger four district, and some part of India. They will make a not part of India, only the Bangladeshi four district. They will make a Bengali country, Bengali, those who are, and mainly in that region, we are having more, the Hindu population is a little bit more than our in other part of the, and that continued, and we all knew about the Agartala Shorjantro, and it actually Sheikh Mujib said to the Indian raw officials, and we all know that raw actually it was established in 1968. When in 1965 war, they face a severe blow And you know the situation. One story that in that time, 1965, Indian army, they said that they will have a tea in Lahore, and that armor attack, they said that Pakistan is not able to stop them. But who stopped them? Is First Bengal Regiment of Bangladesh Army. They are so dedicated, and they put mine in their chest and put inside their tanks, Indian tanks, and their Indian attack was destroyed. So during that attack, India realized that they are having the information, but they don't have the that information is sometimes available in other open sources or covert sources. But you need to process the information, then it comes to intelligence. So they realized that actually they had the information, but they didn't have the intelligence. So they created RAW. And actually, that time his RN Cow was his first chief, and he did a splendid job contacting Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and their first aim was to divide Pakistan. Why Pakistan? Because if East Pakistan and West Pakistan is together, then they knew that their seven sisters, we all know that those seven sisters will be separated from India. It's only in a longer period. So they decided to break this Pakistan. So that was successful. And you know that when this thing was going on, when we revolted against them in 1971, this Chittaranjan Sutaran Kaldar Pujo with another Awamu League leader, they went to Indira Gandhi and asked that to annex Bangladesh, newly independent country Bangladesh with the India. And our Humayun Rashid Chaudhary, the famous diplomat Humayun Rashid Chaudhary, said it to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman that these three guys went to Indira Gandhi and asked for to annex with India, and they didn't take any action. Why they didn't take any action? Because they were controlled by the India. And after the independence, their aim was to separate Bangladesh from any Muslim country or Muslim values. And though they are called themselves secular, but actually India was never a secular country. Though that time government was Congress party, but Congress party, I believe that so far Congress party has given done some damage to our country, and that continued. And Modi government is in the pinnacle right now. They are enjoying the fruit of that thing. So with that, when they try to control us, you all know that after the 71, our acting president Nazrul Islam signed a 7-point treaty. You must be aware of this thing. And with that 7-point treaty, what they said, they want to have, they said that Bangladesh will not have an army, and it will be controlled by, they will appoint some administrators. Actually, after the 71, when there was international pressure and other things, they were not able to control this thing. But Sheikh Indira Gandhi said in his parliament that you'll be happy to know that Bangladesh is not going to be a Islamic country. They are taking what's the term, সমাজতন্ত্র, then গণতন্ত্র, as they are within their constitution. So their main aim was to keep us from the Islamic states. So when after even in 19 after Sheikh Mujib was killed, what they did? They immediately took that, that Qadiriya Bahini, Qadiriya Bahini, he took 16,000 to 20,000 people. They went to India. Who sheltered them? It's him. It's India. And also again, Shadin Bangabhumi Andolan started their wings, started flexing their muscles. And it's again, who did it? It's done by the India. At the same time, we know the Shanti Bahini situation. Who control them? Just to weaken us. I said before that Chanukya's main aim was to if you have a border with me, that means you are enemy. And Another country who's having border, but we don't have a border. That means in normal we say that enemy is our friend. So what they do, they follow that Chanukya policy. What in Chanukya there are 7 points. First point is the peace. If we have a country, we have a peace with a country, that means they are our. I control them. So when peace can exist, when we control them, and when we go to war to weaken that country. So, as per the situation, 1971, they weakened Pakistan by by war, by joining the war, and at the same time, now they are trying to control Bangladesh. So, during 1971, I give salute to Sheikh Mujib for just one point. He ensured that Indian army went back, but their plan was more far to keep their army Bangladesh and thereby control them. We all know that Bangladesh army, Indian army left on some date, but you know that Mujib Bahini was trained by the raw, and they never joined any war in 1971. What was their aim? They entered through Chirang hill tracks. Why? Their main aim was to, during that time, uh, Pakistan used to help the Seven Sisters, those who are separatists, they used to help them. So, to wipe out those people, the Pakistani brigade, one Indian brigade, and along with that Mujib Bahini was in hill tracks, and they controlled the operation, and they left. I don't know the exact date, but they left much after a long time when their operation is finished. And who helped them? This Mujib Bahini. Who is Mujib Bahini? And with that Mujib Bahini, later in Indian prescription, they created Rokhi Bahini. And if you see the uniform of Rokhi Bahini, you will find it's the same as the Indian army, as it is controlled by them. So when finally Sheikh Mujib was killed, they were in panic. They were in panic as their control is going. And then President Zia come to power. And after President Zia came to power, he ignored all the Indian pressures, and he changed one division army to five division army, and he started visiting Islamic states, and that was their again alarm ring to them that Bangladesh is going to be a Muslim country, or they are having ties with Pakistan, ties with the Islamic countries, and their main aim was to keep them out of Islamic countries. So we all know that we may not have evidence uh, that India's killing, India is behind that, but I can read you from a book. It's Raw in Bangladesh. It says, প্রেসিডেন্ট জিয়াকে ক্ষমতাচ্যুত করে ভারতে আসলে কাদের বাংলাদেশকে রাষ্ট্র ক্ষমতা আনতে চাইছে তার রহস্য পার্থ ঘোষ কোনো রাগঢাক না করেই ফাঁস করে দেন তার এক লেখায়। প্রেসিডেন্ট জিয়ার পর বাংলাদেশ যখন প্রেসিডেন্ট নির্বাচনের প্রস্তুতি নেয় 29 আগস্ট 1981, সংখ্যা ভারতীয় মেইন স্ট্রিম পত্রিকায় লিমিট অফ ডিপ্লোমেসি ইন বাংলাদেশ। That means that Partho Ghosh in Indian newspaper, he said that actually to control President Zia Hattakando, it is done by the Indian. And again, it can be and another thing, that when President Zia was killed, first information was leaked by the Akashbani Kolkata. You know it, Akashbani Kolkata, and that means they have all the information they need, and they killed Zia, and again then came the power General Eshad. For my information, I will not say the source, but uh, I talked with the three officers from Bangladesh Army. They went to India for training. All three were approached by the Indian intelligence for working for them. How? They want that when officers go to India and they try to indoctrinate them with their ideology, and they make them convinced that India is our neighbor from all the sides. So without India's help, you cannot prosper. And I will say the first big victim was General Ershad. And actually, General Ershad, I will say that during one of his visits, he was blackmailed and he was to be controlled by Indian Raw. And we have seen it in such consecutive elections when he didn't want to join, then how India pressured them to join. So this thing is a Indian long time plan. Uh, One of my friend in when I was in I was a lieutenant. One of my friend who's having an Aumi League background. I visited his house in Dhaka and I find that Indian first secretary is inside. I was alarmed. How come Indian first secretary is there? So I entered that house and I didn't get outside because I know that these people are. Though I was a lieutenant, those people are normally surveilled by the DGFI and other intelligence organization. So after the first secretary left, then I came out, and that friend was studied in India, and he's PSC. Sorry, not PSC. He's done his doctorate there, and I actually read his subject. It was a political subject. Uh, I forgot the exact thing, but that thing was related to terrorism and political situation. And in all these points, there are something discussed in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, and India. India is one in lighter note, Pakistan in a higher note, and I could understand it is totally manipulated by them. So from Bangladesh, those from go to India, they all are indoctrinated. You can get it guarantee, including Sheikh Hasina family. When they went to India, all are indoctrinated by them. And at the same time, at Bangladesh Army now, in any occasion, there are from the staff college and some other occasions, they send 20 to 25 officers with the family to visit India. It's the process of indoctrinating them into Indian ideology. And uh, sad part is it's a slow process going on, and which actually in last 15 years is reached to the its highest peak. Now they can successfully, because I worked with present chief of army staff, and I had a number of time I had a conversation with him regarding in one occasion there was a seminar in our 52 brigade in Sylhet. He chose that military speech in the battlefield mainly. What is the greatest military speech? Actually, he chose Sheikh Mujib's that 7 March speech. Okay, that's okay. That's no problem. It was a speech to move Bangladeshi people, and it's led to our democracy. I understand, but in a conversation, he just said that can you move? Can we go forward with the help of India? So why not, sir? No, India is all around us. I'm like, so what? What is called? America is the mightiest country, but in his closest side, there's a Cuba. Cuba is still running independent. But no, and there was some conversation. Then I understand that he's already indoctrinated by the India, and that's why India is so safe with him. And I in my other in one of my writings I have written that whenever any chief of army staff is appointment, he was given one source says 18 page some questionnaires he has to fill up, and another says 22 and whatever. But it's true that they have to give some written and then become appointed as the chief of army staff. So at present, today actually I was seeing the what is called uh, Pinaki Bhattacharya video clip, and he exactly find out how they are grabbing our everything, and he said that present Kukichin movement is controlled by them. Now, if we see, let's come in the progress. During the 19 during that Shanti Bahini period, we all knew they were trained in Indian military academy. Their officers, and they control them in 71 also, and they control them. They try to keep us in pressure. At present, now, why we should give pressure to Bangladesh now? India is successful in establishing that Awami government in power. Why? It's because of China. And he says that there is a China is also controlling, is trying to control Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, and it's a competition. That's why this cookie chain came up. And Pinakida successfully said that if that he said that the state cookie chain state there he in the map, it actually, if such state established, then we don't have any Myanmar border, we don't have any only Indian border in all through. So at present, they are actually trying to control us in all the way. And at present, we are having Myanmar border. That means China have some control. We all know that Myanmar having a relation with the India, Myanmar having with the Chin because of the religion and other factors. So I strongly believe that at present Bangladesh army, the leaderships are controlled by the India, and that's why they are not happy with it. At present, I had a talk with some junior officers, major and lieutenant colonel. They are not happy with this present situation. How army is dealing with Kuki Chin at the same Myanmar situation. We all know that Myanmar government is in a losing side now. They are almost controlling 50 to 70% of the country. Arakan army and other they are they are having three party alliance, and although and also the Rohingya Solidarity Organization. And amazingly, Bangladesh army, Bangladesh is supporting the present government, whereas we need to, at the present situation, Arakan army is controlling our borders, so it is a state diplomacy that we try to contact with both of them, and we do after the assessment which give us the best benefit, but we are not doing it. A few months back, we have seen that almost 300 Arakan, not the Myanmar army, they fled to Bangladesh territory, and we successfully given to their government, and it will be and Arakan army will be annoyed with us. And in future, we must everybody know that we already India, though India is trying to contact with the Myanmar government and also the those who are Arakan army and other fractions, but we all know that those fractions, they don't believe India, because 27 years back, or I forgot the date. Actually, before the forgot on the date. When the Arkan army was duly raised, their two generals and few soldiers, they were contacted by the RAW, and they said they can join in an what is the island? Uh, that's the Indian island in the Indian Ocean. They asked them to come there, and they will train them. And Indian RAW, they killed two general and another total five members. So Arakan army still remembers those days. So they will not have a good relation with the Indian army anymore. And what we are doing, we are following what India is prescribing. And recent that two plane came from Israel um, is suspicious. We actually don't know what happened, but Pinaki Bhattacharya actually today he explained it could be the uh, arms and equipment for the Myanmar army to launch and some operation from using Bangladeshi territory. And it also said before in some medias it came that when Ajit Doval came to Bangladesh and he advised Bangladesh to use operation against Arakan army using Bangladesh territory, which we know that Bangladesh denied, but we actually don't know what actually going on. So I believe now Bangladesh army, especially junior officers, senior officers, I don't have a faith on them. Junior officers at present assessing that situation. It's not that we are something talking about against the Awami League. It's no more Awami League, BNP, and other things. It is the country. Country. If you are a patriot, you must raise the question about Indian hegemony in Bangladesh. They are slowly and gradually they are controlling everything. When I was CEO Para Commando Battalion, then finally, after 1 month, I find a letter that it says that I need to have a joint training with the Indian Special Forces. I was very alarmed. Why Indian Special Forces will come and they will live with us? Still, I used to consider the India is the enemy. Enemy means it's not in modern world. It's nobody is enemy, nobody is friend. But in our training, is training doctrine, it says we are surrounded by the India. So if there is a war, it must be against India. So we must be ready for that. And when I talked to the army headquarters, he says, no, 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 this thing will continue, and later we'll also go to India and have training. Okay. Then I conducted the training, and actually I tried my best to put best of our ability and training to show them that we are much better than them. Actually, that happened. But later, when it happened, actually we did better than them, and I actually retained details about it. And in the final day, there was a Indian high officials visit, and they were talking a lot of high sounding words. And when we went to the training, and you know that running and other things, it's difference is hardly 18, 19, 20, 21, something like that. But in firing, we were, whereas we are 95 to 97% hit, they are only 50 to 55% hit. And then they forgot that, they understood. And after that, actually, that time, Brigadier Nair was the DA. He went to MT director, military training director, to ask for the our military training syllabus, and it was not given. And one officer from 19 longer says that Ahmed Afiq sir called me. What happened? You must be have done a very good training. Oh, no, sir, you come to army headquarters on that day. I had a meeting after a few days, and he said that Nair asked me to give him the that training, and they didn't give it. Actually, later he wrote a demi-official letter to Director Military Intelligence for the same thing. He was denied, and after 6 months, one of my officer, Captain Udvas, he defected to India with all the training syllabuses. So that time they didn't have that grip, but at present, and after he took all the things, he returned Captain Udvas to, yeah, and there was a investigation, and one of my friend was with the investigation, and I actually said everything in background what happened, and they didn't take my things already, because they already had the control with Bangladesh army. So the day passing, each day they are having more control within us. So Bangladesh army need to realize this point, that they day by day it will, and actually Pinakira said the same thing, that after the Nawab Sirajudullah lost the battle, it was Mir Jafar, then Mir Qasim. After 15 years, they took charge by himself. East India Company took the command of the, and we all know it. We lost our sovereignty. Same thing is going to happen in Bangladesh. In slowly and gradually, they are controlling our every organization. We know our education sector is destroyed. There are all the Sanatan Dharmi people on the important places in every, in administration is more than 40% in Uposachib and above, all are from the particular religion. So it is well planned, and they are having and if you see that in this raw in Bangladesh, it's by one military officer, Lieutenant Aburur sir. He compiled in on that book, uh, ex DGFI, ex NSI, all the senior officers, including General Motin, they said the same thing, that they slowly and gradually they first controlled our that what's called media, our media line, and at the same time media political, and at present, political, both the party, BNP and uh, Awami League, they strongly believe, both believe that without India we cannot change. Look at the at present that whereas in Bangladesh, in all over the world, Indian boycott is a in a good pace. That time, still BNP is not joining. Why they are not joining? Because their advisor, they are all sold to, and they strongly believe that without Indian hegemony we cannot survive. So at present, we all know that BJP is in power. Indian BJP is in power. You see that BJP actually, he has seen the Bangladesh situation, how they control our democracy. Do you know what's going on in India right now? They are controlling all the media. They are controlling all the media. There are election after few days, and you will find that they arrested Kejriwal, and they froze all the their bank accounts of that Congress, and they also that election commissioner. You know that one election commissioner, he resigned or sacked, and then again two. There is a two vacancy, and it is appointed by two other person who served with the BGP, with Amit Shah. So they are also controlling. They take this thing from Bangladesh, that it is possible in Bangladesh. So what they are trying to do, they will try to get more than 400 seats, and they will try to change the constitution in India. And I believe in a long process, we all know that Indian that the Indian the what's called Samsad Bhavan, that the Indian, and they put a mural where it says Akhanda Bharat.
Mm.
So they are actually planning to today or tomorrow how they took Hyderabad, how they took that Sikkim, how recently they took over the Jammu and Kashmir, and it in history it also said that Kalidas Boido and other things in Chittaranjan Sudhu, they try advise India. Who are those? They are Awami League people. They advise. So they will make some arrangement, and they will try to annex us. And at present, if you think that there is no election in Bangladesh, so all are controlled by Hasina. And now, like Lenduk Dochi, if Hasina can just conduct an election, conduct an election, or in a Sangsad, they can just take a bill that we want to be with the Indian. Who knows? And they will not do it so early, but they are preparing ground for that. So I believe in this situation we need to stand against this Indian hegemony, and I believe BNP should strongly now stand in the Indian position, because if we want this democracy in our country to run, if we want we are to be a sovereign nation, and I strongly believe that with this situation, America is trying to establish India as a local leader, and he is having problem with all the neighbors. I believe that with the Indian next election, America is not so happy. I believe not so happy. So a situation may come when our people will be on the street, and that time we want that army should support us, and I strongly believe army will support us. And I'll urge all the army junior officer, senior officer to strong. It's not the Awami League or BNP. It's our sovereignty at stake. So we must talk about Indian hegemony and their control with our superior officers. I had a long conversation. If you have any other questions.
Well, thank you very much. You gave a very, very nice historical background and the present day situation. To wrap up, I just wanted to ask you, what is the likelihood of any kind of action from the military? Because the way you're describing is that it almost looks like there was an Indian shadow from the very beginning. And this would not have been possible without any kind of complicity from the political side and from the civil society and from the military. So, what is the likelihood in the state that we are in right now, where they are controlling education? They even started interfering in the religious matters of Bangladesh.
Yeah.
What is the likelihood, and the fact that what you mentioned, there's a chain of command in the military. So if the top officers are pro Indian, India, and lack of sovereignty, then what is the likelihood? How would this happen? Uh, um, a kind of, maybe an uprising or any kind of support from the military to regain sovereignty of Bangladesh. Is there any kind of likelihood of that?
Um, Likelihood. I'm just explaining the situation how they are controlling the army. When I was a lieutenant or captain, we see officer having a problem with the monetary or with the women. They have never been promoted, and they are always sidelined. But at present, this Aumili government, they are taking those trashes and they are taking them ladder to go up. You have seen General Aziz, the old scenario, a guy can climb up to the ladder of chief of army staff. Even people think about General Iqbal Karim Bhuiya is a dashing general. He's a dashing general. Uh, he's having a quality, no doubt in it. But for his personal gain, he sold his soul. Simple. What he did, he took a that for his personal gain, he got an university, and he also a power plant for himself. So a man like General Iqbal Karim Bhuiya is sold out. You can imagine about the others. Even people talk big about General Iqbal Karim Bhuiya, but it started after General Mobin, then General. You see, General Mobin and General IKB was a two coursemen. Normally, two coursemen don't become chief in the history. I've never seen or hear something like that in an army, but it happened because General Iqbal Karim Bhuiya could satisfy Indian counterparts that he is their man. And about present chief, I know everything. So in other cases, the army promotion process is badly damaged. From General Aziz, General Iqbal Karim Bhuiya, some officers are not to be a even major to lieutenant colonel. They are made colonel to brigadier, and by General Iqbal Karim Bhuiya, I said uh, their I forgot the name of that officer. uh, he is having even you can see that that MP Maya's son-in-law. He's having we use a trace mark for promotion. Normally, a guy having 75 up marks, he is having less than 60. He less than 60, but he is still promoted. And there are hundreds of examples. So they are actually destroying Bangladesh army, and at the same time other organizations also, they are bringing those trash to the top, because they will not question that how he knows that he is not actually qualified for this job, but when he's given the job, he give his life to serve Army League and other things. Army League, they and it happened in everything. I tell one story about my life when it's 2008 election. 2008 there is election, right? 2008, just after the 111, and I was in Sylhet in Shonjit Sengupta's constituency. So I was there, and I was doing some patrolling, and Shunjit Sengupta crossed me, and same day, after when I finished all the patrolling and I was taking rest, that time one guy came and give some identity which is not actual identity, wrong identity, and I came to meet him, and then he said, I'm the P of Shiranjit Sen Gupta. Blah blah. First question I said, why you are here? You are not supposed to be here. I'm not having any contact with you. If you have any problem, come with the other party, BNP, his peer, and together you come. I will listen to you. I just making out. I want to say this is the opportunity. Normally, those army officer, he has given me a chance that okay, I want to be close with Army League or not. I could be just close with Sunjit Sen-Gupta. So people from army, we are having the same problem. There are people who wants to be close with close with the Army League. I know some of my close associates during 111 when Sheikh Hasina and some Army League leaders were in charge, was about to be prepared charge sheet against them. And one of my friend, he passed that information those to the other party, and when things turned around, that officer was lost his job. So at present, senior hierarchy of army, they are all sold out. I just clear language, sold out. If a man like IKB Iqbal Bhuya, whom I worked closely, he was so dedicated, he lost his soul. And they actually India, they do good in talent spotting in our sense. In all the talk show, I would say one thing: we don't need the genius people, we need the patriotic people. Even an average guy can be patriotic people. In army, I not said that my result was very good or other thing, but I was a patriot. I worked in the field, and what I say, what I learned from that situation. As a CEO Paramount Battalion, I could be close to Army League, and actually, when they understand that I'm not that guy, I ask question. When they give me a task, I question, and then after 1.5 year, I was sent to UN mission. Whereas I've done 3 UN mission. Actually, I'm not after before that UN mission. I had only after 1 or 2 year I was sent for the third UN mission because they wanted to shift me for CO Paracommando battalion because I asked question. So at present, I believe military officers, especially junior officers, I believe they should ask question about this Indian hegemony before we lost our sovereignty fully, officially. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have been very detailed, and yeah, we hope with you that they do realize that what the dangers are in the future if people don't start taking some kind of action. With that, we would like to thank you, and we're very grateful that you joined us today. And unless Rahat Bhai, you have any more questions, we can conclude.
No, thank you very much. I think this was really a lot of insight from Lieutenant Colonel Mustafiz Bhai. He particularly brought all the historical aspects that are very helpful to understand the current situation. This is indeed, I would say, very pathetic, but we hope that someday we'll come out of this mindset. Um, if you do not have any other question, or Mustafiz bhai, any end comment, I think I'll just wrap it up. Any
Yeah,
last comment or anything from any of
yeah.
you?
Mustafiz Bhai, did you have any concluding comments? I think that you've been very detailed.
Yeah,
Just I hope that Bangladesh Army act at the right time before it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
sure. With that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. মুস্তাফিজ ভাই, অনেক ধন্যবাদ। অনেক সময় নিয়ে অনেক ডিটেল ভাবে ঐতিহাসিক প্রেক্ষাপট বর্ণনা করে আমাদেরকে অনেক কিছু বুঝতে সাহায্য করলেন। সাবরিয়া আপা, অনেক ধন্যবাদ আপনার উপস্থিতির জন্য। আমরা আজকে এখানে শেষ করছি। আবার আরেকটি পর্ব নিয়ে আসবো। সবাই ভালো থাকুন। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
Start.
Thank you.
Thank you.